and the bank's adding a premium 2.2% on top. So we know the banks are adding premium 2.2. It means that's their profit margin and whatever the cost of to borrow the loans also, right? So based on they calculate you, so they add the premium 2.2%, and now they're offering you prime minus 0.20, 30, or 40, something like that. They used to offer you maybe sometime 1%,
1.16.
something like that, right? So it means the profit margin is high. The reason is that the last 10 to 14 months, 2021 and then 2022, they aggressively lended and all the money is underwater. So, but definitely, if everybody negotiate properly, they can negotiate good with the bank right now for the rates. So today, I'm just going to talk about this. We did a seminar, first time home buyer seminar over here. I did with the Spanish community. Almost 25 people showed up. So pretty much everybody is a buyer there. But it was just ice breaking for them. We got a speaker in the same language. Um, what you call that? The topic of what was decision making and the fear. So that is the two hurdles, for first time home buyer. And decision making is very important. Um, so same thing I want to explain it here. So consider this: you meeting a buyer, first time home buyer, and what are the important things when you explain them, because they have lots of questions, and
And unrealistic expectations.
definitely on top of that, lots of the knowledge they have is mixed knowledge.
Half cooked.
Yes, right, and so they are confused. So we have to, you know,
Clear the cloud.
clear that cloud, and we have to tell them where you stand right now, based on your income, what you qualify, or if you are self-employed sometime and not 2 years in the self-employment, so they have to wait a bit till, because this is a
Mandate.
definitely policy, by the lenders, that 2 years, minimum 2 years in self-employment.
T4 is, yeah.
Self-employment. So so there's a four important factors, basically. So that's on the screen right now.
Just a second.
So Amit is a first-time home buyer, and I'm explaining Amit one thing here, that so you're first-time home buyer, and Amit want to know exactly how the process works and what are the important steps during first-time home buyer. So four important factors in the first-time home buyers. So Amit, there is a credit. Credit means credit history, credit worthiness, credit score, and there's lots of things in the credit. And the next is income. The technically you call income as capacity, basically. Five C's,
Yeah.
capacity. So understanding income types and the qualification purposes, basic for the qualification purposes. And the third is the down payment. The down payment is very crucial part. We can say that, okay, I have a money in my account. I need $100,000 for down payment. Plus, on top of that, I need a $5,000 closing cost. So I have 105,000. But regulators make a policy, and financial institution choose the part of that policy. And some lenders ask 30 days bank account statement. Some
3 months.
90 days, and they either ask more if they have a little doubt, because AML, anti-money laundering, play a great role in this case, because bank has to be see the money is legit money um, that is used for the down payment, and it's not the source of the money is not from the criminal activities. That is the main thing they have to check it out, right? And the very important thing where we have to play our role, and we know that role we have to play, and sometimes we let it go and the customer doesn't ask much in detail. That is budgeting. We need to help the customer to budgeting for the budgeting based on their lifestyle, based on their expenses. You can see in the credit how much balance is on the credit cards, line of credits, auto loan, student loan. They have a monthly payments, monthly liabilities, right? Some of the credit cards have an option for, I mean, line of credit have option with some lenders, interest only, some principal interest together. So there is a different way of calculation the payments, right? So that calculation has to be right. Plus their lifestyle, how much they spend on the groceries. Do they have their some habits like a smoking? It's a couple of $100 every month, basically. If you see, you have a 4 packets, like over $100,
In
right?
luxury vehicles.
And the smokers, because I used to be, so you lose lots of lighters, man. Yeah. So and other than that, whatever the habits you have.
Any obligation.
Yes, if you have a sports lover, any kind of hobby, you have, because it costs. Anything cost, add in there. If they're buying a coffee 2 times outside, it's definitely almost $3 to $4. Tim Horton and Starbucks is a huge difference for that. But these small payments, when they accumulate, it's $400, $500, $600 a month. Some you have a gym membership, Netflix. Now you have to take and
Amazon Prime.
iTunes, Apple. These small $9.99 accumulate a lot. On top of that, you have to add one more thing, because these days the kids are now buying a toy for $4 or $5 or $6. This is a technology world. They need a game, whatever the panel they play a game on, or to buy a game online buy. And we definitely spend money on the kids, but that accumulate a lot too. So budgeting is definitely, if some families send some money back home, you even have a habit of, or you like to donate anywhere, maybe a $50, $10, you're going anywhere, everything costs money. The reason I'm telling you these days, we borrow easily because borrowing is more easy. But the same way we spending very easily.
Ruthlessly.
Yeah. And simple thing. The house, the mortgage we took for 30 years, we borrow 30 years advance. The year we're going to pay our last payment of the house, that is the 30th year from now, if I bought it. If I'm paying the same mortgage payments. So the lending going to that extent that, you borrow for the future, 30 years ahead of that. The money you have to make 30 years in the 30th year and pay to the bank to finish that mortgage, you borrow in advance of it. So that was never before. But the management, how the city's systems, real estate market got regulators came. So that is the reason the budgeting is very important. Coming back to the point that there's a lots of expenses involved. So now on the next slide, I'm talking about the credit. When we talk a first-time home buyer about the credit, the questions we asked, these questions: how long, length of established, how long you established a credit. First-time home buyers definitely new to the country, so ask questions when you landed. And landed doesn't mean like you landed with a PR, you landed with as a visitor, you landed as a work permit. So ask specifically when you landed, what was your status? I was a student. Okay, after 2 years, I complete the study and I worked 1 year and I got a PR on the third year. So for mortgage purposes, how long you have a PR is very important too. being a permanent residence also important. So these are correlated things when you ask this question in the credit report, right? And how many trade lines you have. Let's see how much the customer remember about how many cards he has. Oh, I have two visas, I have one MasterCard, and I have one student loan. So four trade lines. All right. And sometimes they forget to buy a furniture, like no payment for 1 year or something like that, and they don't even know about that. But that is we have to take in consideration too. But by asking the questions, you came to know the knowledge
Client.
of the client, what level of the knowledge the customer has about his own finances, how careful and how careless the customer has it, the habits, all these things. Credit reports actually, because we ask for the bank account statements for the client, 90 days. We see how the debit is used, so you can know the lifestyle of the customers. Basically, if you see lots of Uber Eats, definitely it's lifestyle. It's nothing wrong or right. I can say, oh, you don't do it, no, but you have to know yourself before you buy a house. Basically, this roof has to give you comfortable, right? A comfort, not the headache after. And the usage. You always ask. It's a very initial meeting. You're asking questions from the client, like, okay, so you using your credit card regularly, or how much balance you having? Oh, I use it for the whole month, and I pay in. Mostly people got them. They use it, and first of the month or first, that's the habit. Pay the whole balance, right? And any late payments, just to bluntly ask for that. Collections, judgments.
But again, all these things we are asking just to cross verify with the credit report.
This is a very initial stage. You sitting with the customer, and you're having a conversation, and you're giving an education to the customer. What is the process of the application from applying till funding? For that initial process, you want to know about your customer, and the customer know about the mortgage, and you are the person who's telling exactly the customer. So this is the questions I ask from the customer: how long the credit established, how many credit cards you have, how you use it. It's just a simple conversation. It's not like a
Interview.
interview and an inspector in the a police station is asking, tell me. No, it's just a general talk. And if a second time home buyer, or for example, if somebody is coming and saying me that I have a one mortgage, and I ask which lender. Oh, lender, a Home Trust. Okay, Home Trust A side or B side? You said, I don't know. Okay, what is your rate of interest? In today's they say, okay, he's saying, okay, 6.24 or something like that. When you got a mortgage? 6 months before. All right. If he's saying 7.5 or 7.79, I know it's B side. If it's B side, then I ask questions. Did you have an issue with the credit? No, credit was okay. So you're self-employed, and so you're not filing the income on NOAs, but you have a good business revenue, because B side go based on the business revenue and overall net business income. B side go with the net business income, not the personal income. Net business income.
Less expensive, basically.
Yes. Gross revenue minus expense, whatever the net, right? So then I know that the customer financial situation, business-wise, capacity-wise. So there is a picture getting a clear about the customer. So the counter questions basically, and it will come by experience. When little by little, you're getting a more experience by talking to the customers. So these are the questions, or if somebody says, "Oh yes, I had a bad credit. That's why I have to go Home Trust, for example, because Home Trust have a product for them." You ask them how bad was it? Was any collections? It was any judgments? It it was in bankruptcy or it was a consumer proposal.
What is consumer proposal?
Consumer proposal is kind of a sister of bankruptcy. Example of consumer proposal: if someone wants to do a consumer proposal, so he or she has a five creditors,
Mhm.
three banks or maybe two other other institutions. So they're proposing to whatever I owe $50,000. So I pay you guys 20% off the 50, and I can't pay rest. I want to make a deal with you because
Settlement.
I am just
Kind
I'm
of
done.
settlement.
So it is like bankruptcy.
It is, yeah. It's not a bank.
But
The
it's not a
difference.
complete bankruptcy.
Yeah.
20%.
Unofficially. type
So
of-
they negotiate. They said, okay, no, you pay 40%.
Yeah.
We knock out 60%, and there is a trustee in the middle.
Mhm.
So the trustee is the person who settled everything, right? So all the credit cards, they were at the stage of R9 or written off. They changed to R7
Mhm.
rating, R7,
Mhm.
and R7 is a better rating than definitely R9, and go to the written off and then collections. So R7, and after that they ask, you want to pay in one shot? That's very doubtful. It means you have some money. But anyway, but you have to surrender all your things in collection. If you have RRSPs
Oh.
or any liquid assets, they can ask you to cash it out. Why you have that money end of the day? You have a $200,000 sitting in RRSP and then you're doing a collection for $50,000. That's not gonna work. So plus even you're a homeowner. I'm not an expert in this, but the basic thing I need, if depend on the equity. So there's some I think so a cap up to, if you have a up to this much equity, then your home is safe.
Mhm.
So there will not be any lien on your home to get the debt collections. Yeah. So okay, deal done. So you want to pay that in 3 years, 4 years, for I think so. There's up to 5 years you can pay by installments
Hmm.
through trusting. Even that the 40%
Hmm.
remaining on, and there's a one company called Capital One.
Hmm.
I think so. They offer you a secure visa of $300 to reestablish your credit because all your credit rating is R7 now.
Sometimes there are government orders as well. When I was in HR, I
Mhm.
used to work for a company as HR manager. So I used to get the emails from CRA that this person is working in your company, as he must have declared because
Mhm.
he filed bankruptcy in the past. So from his salary, before releasing the salary, 25% of that will be deposited to CRA, and then we have to give the balance to him.
Mhm.
We used to get the instructions like this.
Yeah, it's basically after the judgment, and this is CRA is definitely a government. So yeah, and that is their job because they have run the country. Government has to run the country, so they need to tax collections. Um, so and in bankruptcy, what you knock out every single thing, right? And it's a 9-month period. So you file bankruptcy. So if the creditors has any doubt or any issues, whatever resolved, so after 9 months you get a discharge certificate. I think so.
For the first time.
So when you discharge means you are discharged now. Everything is not done. But your credit rating is go to a R9. Everything is written off, right? Everything. And then there's another company, Home Trust. Home Trust give a secure visa. They have a product for secure visa, home equity visa. If someone has a totally bad credit and want to restart, so $2,000, $3,000, even $5,000. So the person has to give that money to Home Trust. They put in a GIC, and against that GIC, they issue a credit card called Home Equity Visa. But it will show on your credit report. But for borrowing purposes, even you're keeping this credit card for 2 or 3 years, but the A lenders, they don't think it is a like
Good practice.
is secure first of all, and it is not a re-established credit exactly. The consideration is not that level of acceptance of that credit
Compared to
card. Yeah,
unsecured.
compared to you got some financial institution basically. Yes, yeah. So these are the credit conversation we can have with a customer. So basically, we're creating a picture about that client. So how to, if I have any questions, because in the future, customer is going to ask you, you want, I want to take a variable, but my wife's saying fixed. So what is best for us? So these, you know,
Yeah.
answers will help you out that what is the best for the customer. You can tell them, okay, you no need to suggest that recommendation. No, let the customer decide all the time.
Yeah.
But you can say based on this is this, and based on this is the pros and cons, and based on them, help them to sorting out the things and then make their own decision basically. Yes, because in some cases, especially I seen it after closing, if the prime start goes high and the customer go in the branch and complain, or we ask for fix on that time, or we were want fix, but we were recommended a variable on that time, right? And people does that, but sometime, most of the time, actually, if you selling a fixed rate for 5 years or fixed rate of variable, compensation is pretty much same, because in broker side the compensation is based on 1 year,
Yeah.
2 year,
Mhm.
3 year, 4 year term. Basically, longer the term, your compensation is higher.
Oh, yeah.
So sometime
Compensation to client.
no us.
To the agents.
So however, like in case any client complains, like this example,
Mhm.
what's gonna happen?
It's not gonna nothing. Customer sign the documents, right? But what happened? Complaint is complaint. And somebody have to take that complaint in consideration and report it or ask questions or something like that.
Many times complaints are increased, then become the issue.
Mostly, I can see when we are not educating the customer right. When I used to work in Scotiabank, especially the paragraph of the rate, I always asked to initial in front of that paragraph.
That you understand.
Yeah, each page has to initial. That's more than enough. No, initial that paragraph. Initial this. Initial that you read it, properly. My underwriters sometimes used to say that, there's lots of initial on the page. I said, this is the proof that he read it properly. And it's my habit all the time. There's a one copy with the customer for the approval, one copy with me. Let's go with paragraph to paragraph, right? And explain them. And as soon as they're reading and agree, just ask them to initial it. They agree. This is our job to explain the customer. Sometimes some experts says, more you educating the customer, it is, it go against you. And we are not making a customer mortgage specialist. We just want to tell the customer that you going short term or long term, that must be fit in their needs. And I always tell the customer, based on today's scenario, this product, fit better for you, because after 2 years you want to do a refinance. All right. So I can take a step mortgage for you. I'm talking about the one institution, right? Scotiabank. Plus starting $1 line of credit. So let it accumulate with the time, and that fits for you. But collateral charges, we make a higher. If the purchase price is million, 20% down, 200,000. Your mortgage is 800,000. So collateral charge can be 125% of the purchase price. 1.2 million 50,000 up to. So if the collateral charge is high, for example, okay, no problem, million, fine, because in the future, if you want to refinance the house and increase the step limit, why not? But what happened after 6 7 months? The credit got some issues, and he's going to Vibhuti. Vibhuti is a private lender and asking some money. So Vibhuti said, okay, but your collateral charge is higher than your mortgage balance. It means your existing lender can register the mortgage amount that was 800,000 to a million if you have any dispute or anything happen. They have a very open window. So I will consider your first mortgage balance is million, and your house value from million is now maybe 50,000 high. I'm not going to lend you. Then it's coming back to you. You never told me this step product had to be, you have to put that option, but you have to tell me, because I had an option to register the collateral charge and the mortgage registration up to 800,000, that equal to mortgage. But you suggested me, or you did it for me. They will not say you did it for me for $1 million. Now I'm not able to borrow any money from the market. I need a $50,000 right away. My credit is got screwed. So what to do? In that situations, basically, customer come and complain about you, because end of the day, customer is always right. So any situation happens, or lots of time happens with me, call the customer, sit with the customer, and talk and negotiate. Negotiate means diplomacy, basically. Use the diplomacy. And in some cases, I don't know, that's online. Only BB is watching. Okay, that's
No,
fine.
there are two more people, but our team members.
Yeah, actually, I had to, you buy some gift. For example, you have a complaint with a store. One time, the Leon's Furniture, when they, unloading the furniture, they make a scratch on my door, main door. So they give me $150 credit to paint the door. So these kind of things can work too. Just $100, $200 gift card, sit with them. But make sure you don't give a chance. That's more important.
Because that 200 is going from our pocket. I mean,
Of course, it's your business. We are self-employed.
Yeah.
We can do it, and we can claim in our taxes too. That's not a thing. But this situation should not become. And only it comes when the customer financial situation
Go south.
south, and they have a hard time. And by chance, you have in this situation's last 2 years, you see the prime going up. Nobody's happy with their mortgage specialist. You never told me. You never told me. Inside their mind is always like that.
Just one doubt. So in this example, what you mentioned, why is the borrower's credit score went down? Just because he missed the mortgage payment, or
Could be any
Whatever the
Anything.
reason, and it happens, and it happened.
Hmm.
Yeah, it happened.
Okay. Okay. Now, instead of going for a second mortgage, if he goes back to the A lender itself, who has had a collateral in it, they will have to squash this current agreement. Then they have to make a new.
Yes, it's a legal process.
Hmm.
He has a lawyer need to send a request to the lender, and then the lender has their own legal department. It is month process kind of thing.
So what I'm trying to figure out is, while it is until it is not the time of renewal, we will not be able to. The borrower will
Yeah,
not be able to go back to the A lender and ask for more money. Just this $50,000, for example.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
So the reason the bank puts this step limit is so that the customer cannot go anywhere.
No,
What is the
the step is basically the collateral charges. There's two charges. One is $1 million purchase,
Yeah.
20% down, mortgage registration. The charge got registered is $800,000. And how much the collateral on the mortgage is? $800,000 collateral. But what happened? The collateral is million. Means after 2 years, this customer is going back to the bank and ask for a refinance. So they said, okay, we are adding a 200. Your property value is 1.3 million now. So we can give you 200,000 more in shape of line of credit, home equity line of credit. So collateral is already there. So the only customer paying a charge to register the mortgage, basically, that is banks provide FCT, First Canadian Title also. So customers save money because of collateral charge. There's a benefit also for the customer, but not for every customer, right? That's why it is optional. You need a mortgage life insurance optional, mortgage disability insurance optional, title insurance mandatory, right? Same way the collateral charges are optional. It's a product, it's a part. But the lender has a free hand. Because the collateral means, जैसे आपको एक हिंदी में मैं क्या समझाऊं कि आपने मुझसे $100 लिए, आपने वो 30 साल में वापस करने हैं, और मैं कह रहा हूं मैं ऐसा करता हूं जो मैं $120 का कर रहा हूं ये।
अब $20 लेने आता तो कुछ
अगर आपने सही टाइम पे दे रहे हैं, अगर आप जो नहीं देंगे ना, तो मेरे पास इतना यहाँ तक बढ़ाने का है, यहाँ तक चार्ज हो सकता है। मान लो डिफॉल्ट में चला जाए, वो चला जाए, तो डेफिनेटली द लेंडर हैज अपर हैंड इन दैट। बट दिस इज basically most of the mortgage agent never tell those customers what is the collateral charges
the
are.
lender can make it regular. Default amount can be converted to in this way.
Basically, आप कैसे कह सकते हैं यार 8 लाख की मॉर्गेज है, तुम कोलैटरल $1 million का डाल दो इसमें?
इसमें सेफ पार्ट तो ज्यादा बैंक का ही हुआ।
Of course.
They are
So
safeguarding
consumer
themselves.
का benefit ये है कि when if they want to go and get 200
Refinance.
grand more,
Definitely.
they don't have to do the entire process again.
Definitely.
That is
Yes. So that is basically yes.
But again, this is optional और ये बताना चाहिए क्लाइंट को।
Of course. अब आप टीडी से मॉर्गेज करते हो, स्पेशली ए लेंडर से मॉर्गेज करते हो, तो उसमें आता है कॉलम है।
So again, I'm a little bit confused that again we can get more only at the time of renewal, not any time.
No, whenever you see the
Whenever
customer value is high, I mean property value is high, you
Ask
can pull the money out.
Okay.
I have a live example for this. My experience. So I bought my first home that was $595,000. Okay. After a year, the market went up. My property price went up to 850. Okay. So I kept paying up the mortgage. So it was around 550, which was the outstanding balance. I refinanced my home because I wanted equity, HELOC. So I was with CIBC at that time. So now whoever did my mortgage, he is from CIBC. So he's like, I cannot do it. You just call bank and the specialist from the CIBC bank will do your refinance. So they did the appraisal. They got my home value, new appraised value as 850. Now, here's one thing. Always hire a good lawyer or a lawyer from the bank. But I had a contact and I used the same lawyer. She didn't unregister my 550 charge or whatever was outstanding. She put another charge that is 850, which I didn't know. Okay, but everything was going fine. I was only paying the charge for like 550. That was my mortgage amount. But when I got to know this is when I was selling that house, I bought another home and I went for the mortgage process. And the other specialist is like, your house has a lien of 1.4 million.
Because there were two.
Because there are two charges
550
and he
and
doesn't
850.
know that the another one is collateral that is 850, out of which I didn't get 850. I only got $100,000 of line of credit, which is not used. It is just sitting there. But for him, he can see two charges registered on my home, which equals to 1.4 million. And he is like, you sold your home for $1 million. You have to pay 400,000 extra to the bank. What is going on? So then I gave him all the papers, like all the documents, and then he's like, okay. The lawyer was supposed to unregister the previous charge, release you from that charge, and then register a new one as a collateral, and then mention all these things. So always hire a good lawyer. But everything was settled because I had all the documents and all the proof. But this is the real scenario that I went through. And I was like, what is 1.4 million?
Basically, just educate in one line to the customer. When any refinance or any purchase happened, the lawyer, I think so, should be give the package to the client, maybe within a week or 2 weeks. Because it's a big package. Sometimes come by mail, so it's all their documents. Usually it's DocuSign now,
Yeah.
and the customer has to
Different.
check it out. Okay, my existing mortgage discharged. So lawyer took a signature to discharge it, but did not discharge it or forgot about it. And definitely there is a discharge fee. The lawyer has to pay. The lawyer took from her. It is very common, especially in second mortgages. Lawyer forgot to discharge. But it's not very common. Usually these days, before it was a lot when there was fax machines and there was nothing. Now everything is online and
एक बार
So-
शॉक लगा होगा
हम्म?
एक बार शॉक लगा होगा 1.4 मिलियन कहाँ से आ गया
थोड़ा तब लगा, but I had because
समझ में आ गया
I was talking to that CIBC person. पूरा प्रोसेस मैंने ही किया था, तो I knew what was happening. तो मैंने बस यही बोल दिया कि रुक भाई, मेरे पास डॉक्यूमेंट्स मैं भेज रही हूँ, तू देख ले, क्योंकि I read those document and it mentioned this is collateral और आपका 850 ही है, जिसमें से आउटस्टैंडिंग तो 550 ही है, बाकी तो आपको मिल गया एज लाइन ऑफ क्रेडिट which you are not using.
Okay, choose one more thing I want to tell you. These are the 5 C's: conditions, character, capacity, capital, and collateral. So basically, क्या है कि we have to tell the underwriter that these 5 C's customer has it. How many, for example, capital or capacity. Especially 2 things: capacity and collateral. How the lender analyze the risk. A lender, they are big. They can lend even the remote areas. Remote areas means maybe a suburb. Even you have a house in a small town also. There must be a bank or credit unions there. But when it comes to the B lender doesn't go that far. They have their own lending area, and so you see this. Based on credit for A lending, B lending, and private. So when it comes to B and private, so collateral, where is the property, what kind of property, how old the property, upgrades about the property, and other thing is capacity. Definitely, if customer is a self-employed, because they are not a traditional lender. They need 6 months business bank account statements, 12 months business account statements, T4As, commissions, right? And based on, they make the decision, and the rate of interest is based on that for the B lenders. Yes, credit is must be good. Even is a little bad, they accept it. But if your credit is like 850 and your credit is 650, both of them may get the same rate, because the other 2 factors that called collateral and capacity, that has to be taken consideration. If the credit score was 650 or even 600, even a small collection, 1 or 2 late payments, no major, has a great business case. Also, the house is in a major urban area, and down payment is 5% extra. Then the customer has a 850, so may end with maybe a 1/4% better rate in this case. Overall situations when they analyze the risk. So we will talk about these 5 C's one day separately in detail. इसमें क्या है कि आपने ना जो अपने नोट्स को चमकाना कैसे है, दिखाना कैसे है. अब एक 70 साल पुराना टाउन हाउस है, कॉन्डो टाउन हाउस है, अंडरग्राउंड पार्किंग है और एल्बियन और मार्टिन ग्रोव के एरिया में है. किसी टाइम पे बैंक रिलक्टेंट था वहां पे lend करने में sometime. On that time, the value was like $130,000-$140,000 for those townhouses. Opposite Albion Mall. Now, every bank is doing it. So, 5 C's की बात करेंगे बाद में, पर ये क्रेडिट के जो क्वेश्चंस हैं, are we okay with them? Anything else you want to add on in there? So next चलते हैं income. So Amit, you're a first-time home buyer. So are you an employee or you're self-employed?
Well, I'm self-employed.
Or you're self-employed?
Well, I started like I was working earlier, but then 1 year before I lost my job and I started working as self-employed.
All right. So self-employed, you have a company registered. In which business you have?
Not yet. I just started doing Uber,
Okay.
and I'm making good money with that.
Okay. So
Otherwise, I
Uber.
have no
All
problem,
right.
yeah.
All right. So how long you driving Uber?
It's almost 1 year now.
1 year now. All right. So see the conversation,
Mm.
and the Uber issue a T4A in your mind is coming. And if he's driving Uber, fine, fantastic, income, banking the income. So, but he's not in 2 years.
Average.
So I'm going to ask him before Uber, what was your job?
Mm.
I was just waiting. I'm hoping if he can answer me. Oh, I was driving truck.
I was a truck driver.
Damn good. Because end of the day, it's under comes transportation, but trucking and Uber. So it is not a correlated business, but it is the person always behind the wheels. So maybe we have a hope in this case.
Mm.
So with the wheel ending, I have to present that case. So these are the you have to ask to the clients. So if he's an employee in a company, so employee again, are you a full-time employee? Are you a part-time employee? And are you a seasonal employee? I will explain all of them. And I have to add one more thing, contract. Because lots of companies hire you for the 6 months contract, extending. They don't want to give you benefit. Simple as that, Yeah. So even that is fine too. If the contract is, if you are already working for 2 years on contract, you have a history of 2 years. 2 years very important in this industry. Everything is 2 years. Even somebody did a bankruptcy, so 2 years just to discharge, and 2 years to re-establish credit with minimum 2 trade lines. तो किसी ने अगर बैंक्रप्सी की है उसको 2 साल हो गए डिस्चार्ज किए हुए और बैंक्रप्सी होने के बाद उसने क्रेडिट कार्ड ले लिए थे उसी वक्त 2 सिक्योर वगैरह ये और वो रीएस्टैब्लिश कर लिया कोई ऑटो लोन भी ले लिया छोटा मोटा और उसको 2 साल हो गए हैं और उसके पास कम से कम 2 ट्रेड लाइन है 1 ऑटो लोन और 1 maybe a visa card or something like that. So this is important. I always ask the customer based on that आपने डॉक्यूमेंट्स मांगने हैं पार्ट टाइम I need a letter of employment. How many guaranteed hours? Guaranteed hours. If you are a part timer, how I can calculate your income? Simple as that.
Yeah.
Either you show me 2 years T4. You're applying it today. Show me 2021 T4. Show me 2020 T4. I will take an average. If 2021, 2020 T4 is almost same amount, 23, 24, 23,000, whatever, average is coming as okay. But if 2021 is higher, 2022 is lower, so I will take lower income. And 2022 lower. And what is year to date for this year? Is it matching with that or not? If that is lower, then exception basis I have to take year to date lower. So based on what's the simple, he made 30,000 in 2021, 25,000 in 2022. So I'm taking 25,000 because it's lower. I can't take average. It's reverse. I can take average. If the graph is going like that, I'm taking average. In 2023 till August 12, limit $15,000. And if I calculate in 7 months, 2,000 and change in a month, end of the day, 24, 25. Okay, it will match up. So I can justify the $25,000 income. On exception base, I will write a story and notes. All right, it was lower in last year, but matching year to date is coming towards that, and that's all. The declining of the income is not good. This is the positive side of the income. When we take average, full time, okay. What are the guaranteed hours? Remember, guaranteed administration jobs sometimes there's no 40 hours,
40.
75 hours
Sorry?
bi-weekly,
Oh, bi-weekly. Oh,
37.5
okay.
weekly. Some give it 35 hours weekly is also full-time job too. You paid bi-weekly or bi-monthly.
Mm.
Bi-weekly and bi-monthly. If you're paying hourly, get paid hourly. So it's 40 hours bi-weekly. If you have a salary of 50,000, right? But mostly what we do, mostly pay stubs doesn't have the salary, annual salary on top. Now it said, yes, I can see a lot. So we just go by the bi-weekly pay with 80 hours and multiply by 26. But I always ask, it's bi-monthly.
Okay.
Because bi-weekly you pay 2 payments extras. You can multiply by 26. If it is bi-monthly, then you have to multiply by 24. Yeah.
What is bi-monthly, sir?
Bi-monthly means you get paid 2 times.
15th and 30th
Fortnightly.
or 31st. On 15th or 30th
Or 31st. Mostly. Bi-weekly is go by day. Every second Friday. Every second Friday. Every second Friday.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
there will be
Bi-monthly.
2 months when you will get paid thrice.
Thrice, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Bi-monthly go by date.
Okay, 15th and 31st.
Yeah. Bi-weekly go by day.
Day,
Day.
Friday.
Yeah. Friday, Saturday, and all these things.
In-
So you have to be,
Okay.
ask these questions. Most of the clients doesn't know about their package. Because working from 3-4 years, I don't know 162, 165. They more remember how much I made last year in T4, or how much I'm getting paid after taxes every month. So ask for a pay stub. Study the pay stub. Read every corner of the pay stub. Because you have to know about the client. You will see, okay, he's paying $100 deductions every paycheck going towards RRSP, a group RRSP. You can see customer must have RRSP means. So he's as a first time home buyer, he's using RRSP. So you have to be ready with the RRSP situations, because RRSP is a cushion for the customer. They don't want to touch sometime. But first time home buyer, you can use as a down payment up to 35,000. I think so. They increased to 50 yet or not? For the RRSP. Google करेंगे आप?
I think it is still the same.
Mhm.
Let me check.
So we got no part-time, full-time income. Seasonal. How we explain the seasonal income?
By means of month, say for example, if someone is a snowblower, just for an example,
Mm-hmm.
they would have got the payments, those specific payments,
Mm-hmm.
only on an hourly basis,
Mhm.
only in these months, like say
Mhm.
December to February or
Mhm.
March,
Mhm.
something like that.
So seasonals, yes, he's definitely right. And landscaping.
Landscaping. Landscaping during the summer times.
Yeah,
Same.
seasonal.
Seasonal. Yeah.
Snow plowing,
Mm.
seasonal.
Mm.
Construction is seasonal too. Couple of months, the outdoor construction is, if it's snowing, there's no construction there for 2 months, November, December, or something. And remember one thing now. I'm a construction worker and I got laid off November, December. What happened?
Yeah.
I apply EI.
Mm.
Same
And
concept.
yes, and especially the season workers, when your employee you're getting paid hourly. I mean, you're not a self-employed. There's 2 ways to see this seasonal. I will take the business account statements for the whole year for the seasonal worker, and I will see if the person is self-employed. I'll see which month he made more, which month he made less. Self-employed seasonal worker doesn't get EI. I don't think so.
Yeah. It's
Self-employed does not
self-employed.
pay.
No,
It's not benefits.
right?
Yeah.
But if someone on the payroll, a seasonal worker, get EI,
Like a construction worker.
and most of the lenders, they count that EI as income because seasonal income.
Same for teachers.
Yes. But teachers actually
Teachers get
salaries
paid.
divide by 10.
Teachers get paid even if the schools are not open.
Yeah.
So they get EI, I believe. Some teachers have that contract, like they get EI for those 2-3
Those
months
are
during summer
On
break.
call teachers, I believe.
Yeah. So anyway, pay the employees on the seasonal jobs on payroll get EI, and that EI we can consider as a part of income because it's an essential part of their earnings, and this is not and it's going to happen every year. It's continuous. So remember for seasonals, right?
So that RRSP limit is still 35
35.
and 70,000 for a couple.
So, but most important, job letter, current pay stub, 2 years T4s, and 3 months payroll deposit. These 4 things always ask for the client.
Payroll deposit, won't it come in the bank statement?
Payroll deposit is why I want to know more about the client. One is my due diligence, and one more thing I want to tell you. I can see the pay stub is telling me only one thing: what for the particular time period customer got paid, and the year to date is matching. But what happened? I seen the 3 months pay deposits. There was maybe a 7th pay deposit there, right? Bi-weekly. So most of the time, customer works 80 hours is matching.
So pay deposit is bank statement.
Bank statements to see the pay
See
deposits.
the pay deposit.
And there was a one pay deposit is very less, very low. Underwriter will may ask you these questions. Like in 1 or 2 were very low. What happened? If the hours affected, if customer getting less hours, if the job is in jeopardy or hours are in jeopardy in the future, that's why the underwriter asks. We taking sometimes very personally, provide you a job letter, provide you the pay stub, and if you're providing 3 months bank statements, because that bank statement also has a down payment, also pay deposits. Customer underwriter, as underwriter, I will ask, why? What happened? I hope it's not temporarily laid off, right? It gives me it's a risk for me because capacity is at risk.
It's like removing that ambiguity.
Yeah.
for
So
underwriter.
yeah. So in the starting, the best practice is any documents you're getting the customer, read from line to line. Job letter 1 page, pay stub 1 page, T for 1 page. Read it. Customer's name so many times wrong on the pay stubs. That give a flag. The address on the T4 is different and pay stub is different. Flag. We have to tell that, okay, customer did not updated the whatever the reason. Sometime customer works for Tim Horton, right? The job letter is saying Tim Horton and everything, but there is a employer is different. It is any Ontario Inc. or HMS host in. I just got a client. He was telling wife works in Tim Horton. So Tim Horton is not an employer, but basically she works for HMS host for the Tim Horton franchise.
Yeah.
It's an individual owned franchise, basically, right? So those are the names. Sometimes the T4 will come on the name of the franchise name, and the pay stub has a logo of Tim Horton, or maybe I don't know exactly. The job letter has a logo of Tim Horton. So you have to know about how the business get conducted here. So that's why every knowledge about real estate business here and there. I mean, what the knowledge we needed for submissions and make notes. Take it. If any business, somebody doing a scrap business, just start asking questions from the client. Just like how from where you buying the scrap, how it works. So what is the tax impact when you do an invoice and sending the scrap to Dubai or here and there, for example? So how the invoice gets generated, what tax implications, and do you get any rebates also? Just increase our knowledge. Any an interesting article about real estate, just read it. This can definitely, on social media, you're going on the real estates, listening lots of podcasts. First, अपने मोहल्ले के बारे में देखो क्या है। आप जिस एरिया में रहते हैं ना, उसके 1 किलोमीटर के आसपास आपको पता होना चाहिए कौन सी स्ट्रीट है, कौन सी स्ट्रीट पे सेमी है, कौन सी पे टाउन हाउसेज है, और कहाँ पे कॉन्डो है, कहाँ क्या बिक रहा है, कहाँ नहीं बिक रहा है, बिकॉज दैट क्रिएट इंटरेस्ट। और आपकी मेमोरी करती। अभी sometime a person bought a house in Brampton and come to me, townhouse, and this is the value. I was just thinking about that. The value is not there much. Overpriced. He bought overpriced. It was almost $50,000 overpriced. So what happens? Then the intuition. In what the intuition means, you have some, information in your brain, and the brain is just, analyzing that information. Based on that, something comes up. Okay.
कल ही एक पोस्ट आया था दिमाग में, फिर आया आपसे पूछने का कि अभी वाइल्ड फायर्स बहुत हॉट इशू है कनाडा। वाइल्ड फायर्स कैसे इम्पैक्ट कर सकते हैं, मुझे इस टॉपिक के बाद आपसे पूछना था कि वाइल्ड फायर्स की वजह से अगर कोई एप्लीकेशन रुक जाती है, कि इंश्योरेंस रुक जाती है वाइल्ड फायर्स में, इंश्योरेंस अंडरराइटिंग एक रेड फ्लैग कर देते हैं कि इस किलोमीटर के 25, 50, 100 किलोमीटर तक इंश्योरेंस टच भी नहीं होगी, जो एग्जिस्टिंग है वही चलेगी, ना आप ऐड कर सकते हो ना आप इशू कर सकते हो। उस केस में किसी की क्लोजिंग आ रही है, इंश्योरेंस नहीं हुई, तो मॉर्गेज अप्रूवल और हाउस बाइंग प्रोसेस कैसे होगा? अब यूएस में पूरा हवाई पूरा टाउन जल गया,
तो मैंडेटरी है, इंश्योरेंस मैंडेटरी है।
बट अगर नहीं हो पाई वाइल्ड फायर की वजह से,
There's no any private insurance or no, ऐसी कंपनीज नहीं।
पता नहीं, मतलब ये चीज कल ही आई है, एक पोस्ट देखा किसी का।
नहीं, इंटरेस्टिंग है
क्योंकि ये टॉपिक अनएक्सप्लोर्ड है, अनटच्ड है,
Yeah.
और ये भी नया है ऑफ लेटली, ऐसे पूरा यूएस का टाउन जल गया
सर, आप इंश्योरेंस के होम इंश्योरेंस की बात कर रहे हैं ना,
हाँ।
तो वहां तो टाइटल इंश्योरेंस देगी क्या कर।
So you're saying that
Title is for title insurance is possible for sure।
Home insurance.
home insurance rate? So my follow-up question. So it is a pre-construction property or is it a resale? Resale. ठीक है.
Okay.
And this insurance company flagged this area.
ये
But
तो-
उसने, for example, I bought this property. I got this insurance. सारे documents आ गए, but it waits until the closing, right? And ये बीच में हो गया. तो आप बोल रहे हैं कि उसमें कुछ नया ऐड नहीं कर सकते, बट जो मैंने लिया है वो तो चलेगा कि नहीं चलेगा, कि वो void कर देगा?
ये सेलर हैं, आप बायर हो,
हम्म,
आपकी ड्यू डेट आज है सपोज
for closing.
क्लोजिंग,
हाँ.
ठीक है, और यहाँ पे अंडरराइटिंग ने फ्लैग कर दिया 9 अगस्त से,
हम्म,
तो अब यूजुअली क्लाइंट्स लास्ट मोमेंट तक ही बैठते हैं। मैंने बहुत प्रोएक्टिव, बहुत क्लाइंट्स कम देखे हैं जो 1 महीना पहले क्लोज करा रहे हैं। यूजुअली 80% ना लास्ट के 10 दिन 2 हफ्ते के अंदर ही आते हैं भागे दौड़े,
होम इंश्योरेंस मतलब कि क्लोजिंग वाले दिन ही होती है।
मोस्टली।
या
हाँ,
पर अब सपोज आप आ रहे हो कि मुझे घर खरीदना है और क्लोजिंग आ रही है, लेकिन फ्लैग ऑफ हुआ है, अब आपकी इंश्योरेंस नहीं होगी तो अभी क्लोजिंग कैसे होगी?
अच्छा, बट पहले से मैंने लेके रखी है,
ऑब्वियसली
हाँ,
2 महीने
then
टाइम
there is-
रहता है।
हाँ,
हाँ, तो
then they cannot just back out, right? The
Oh.
insurance company.
नहीं, वो तो ले लिया तो ले
Okay,
लिया, वो
okay.
तो पॉलिसी बाइंड हो गई तो हो गई।
But ये लेना बाकी है and they flag this area,
अब
then
कुछ
the
नहीं हो
no
सकता
insurance
उसके
company.
लिए। हाँ।
Okay, I understood.
So the only thing is got extension, please।
हाँ।
But I have one more interesting scenario. I just got a call from a potential client and we are discussing about income. So the scenario is this person wants to buy a house, but in 2021 he was on workplace injury leave
WSIB.
for 1 year,
Mhm.
and for that his income was zero, which he filed as zero in
Mhm.
tax.
Mhm.
And in 2022 he again like joined as a full-time employee. वो full-time employee था,
Mhm.
and he is now on regular payroll and everything.
Mhm.
Now, because we need 2 years of T4s
Mhm.
and all this, can he qualify for a house or can he buy? Because एक T4 1 year का पूरा zero हो गया. He was getting that EI or whatever जो compensation होता है that he was getting, but it was tax free.
Mhm.
So
So one thing I wanna clear it here. If somebody or some client, if they are employee of a company and they are on payroll, what a bank need or financial institution,
Letter of
Job
letter of employment,
Mhm.
what? Full-time, permanent, right?
Yeah.
Or part-time, permanent,
Yeah.
right? Okay, consider full-time permanent. This client was full-time permanent. Full-time permanent out of probation, yes?
yes,
Okay, 40 hours a week, Yes.
Yes.
He got a 40 hours a week.
Yes.
Now back on the job.
Yeah.
All right. And we just need a letter of employment and a pay stub and a notes that he got injured.
Mhm.
He was on short-term disability. His income got affected. He's back on the feet. He's working. Here, his 3-4 pay stubs for last 2 months, 3 months. He's back on regular job. Done deal.
But then in that case, the 2 years T4s,
It's
because
not-
that,
not
it's
No.
not needed, right?
Why I asked for 2 years T4s?
Self-employed?
No, T4s are not related to self-employed.
Yeah.
Yes, T4s are related to self-employed also. For self-employed, a business for
Taking
self
salary.
people have a corporation and they
Yeah.
withdrawing the salary from their own corporation, that T4.
Yeah.
We are not talking about that T4.
Mhm.
We're talking about the customers there on the payroll. 2 years T4, I want to know the story because it reflects me. It reflects that if $20 per hour, 40 hours a week, how much the annual income should be.
Oh,
Yeah. Let's go with the numbers.
40 hours.
40 hours a week into 20 into 52. 41,600.
41,600.
600.
And the T4s are, the last 2 years are 44 and 45. Why I ask? Because I want to know if there is any overtime, is there any bonus, is there any other incentives, so I can use that income for 2 years average. We no need a 2 years T4s for
Employed.
employed
Mhm.
on payroll. The reason I always asking again and again and again and again, I ask for 2 years. Because we have to fill minimum 3-year history in the application. If a customer is saying he's working from 2 years in this company and asking 2 years T4s, sometime the previous company's T4 and the current job T4 for 1 year plus current job T4 for
The second
Current
year,
one.
current year.
and averaging it out, the same IT plus year to date. So there may be a $5,000 extra income. We can use it to increase the capacity. We don't need a 2 years history. 2 years are considered like if you are on the full-time job for 2 years, it's like stability.
I can give one example. One file we are currently working on. 2 applicants, husband, wife, both are employed, both are in full-time job, IT professionals. Okay. Husband, he gets bonus. So his salary is 135,000. Okay. With the bonus, if I see his T4 for let's say 2021 and 2022, in 2021 he got 160,000 with bonus. Okay. In 2022 he got 170,000 with bonus. So I can take the average. It means 165 for him. For the wife, she never got any bonus. In 2021, her salary was 80,000. In 2022, the salary was 90,000. Now her salary is 121,000. So I will not take that average. I'll use her current salary. So depending on which can give us more benefit, that we can use.
Mhm.
Because the salary is going
Okay.
up and up, we
Yeah.
are taking the.
Usually-
final.
The financial institution needed 2 pieces of income. Job letter, pay stub, one combination. Because they can confirm the job, how long, what is the contract, plus year-to-date income. Or T4 and pay stub. T4 reflects the last year income from the employment, pay stub year-to-date. Or you can provide a pay stub, a T4, and if you don't have a letter of employment, sometime 3 months pay deposits. Right? So usually they need a 2 piece, but the combination is T4 pay stub, job letter pay stub. But if the bank or underwriter has some risk issues and they want to ask, basically we call it EDD, enhanced due diligence. They want to do it because they have to make a decision. For a huge chunk of money is given to the borrower, so they can ask you letter of employment.
Right.
They can call the
Employer.
employer to confirm it, right? And they can ask for the 3 months deposits to see, right? If there's a legitimate income in there, right? So, and that's lender has the right to do that.
Because payroll deposit is different from normal deposit, like your
Bank statement.
bank statements.
Yeah, bank statements. Yeah, yeah. We call it technically payroll deposit. It's a technical word, payroll deposit. Yeah, sorry about that. So bank stored statements reflecting payroll deposit. So based on the conversation, the pictures comes clear what kind of a documents you need.
The best part about what we shared that example is that normally we don't know, we're not aware that this is something which is beneficial for us in terms
Yeah.
of bonus, overtime, any benefits. We just take it like our income is this only.
So I asked the customer, provide me all kind of a T4s of last 2 years, if the customer is employed. And the good thing is that one of my customers, he invested money in a company, and company was giving an 8% dividend. There was a contract, and this company they have a huge business of for point of sale business, and he got issued T5s, and he declared that T5 income. So 300,000 invested, and T5 issues every year, husband wife, half and half. So that income is stable income, and it is not a very conventional kind of income. But yes, there is a gray area. If you have a dividends coming or any dividend income, but continue from 2 to 3 years, that can be considered. Yeah, there are lots of things like that. So payroll employee or self-employed, right? So you're a part-time, full-time, seasonal. So you're on the payroll as an employee, or you're self-employed. That's multiple incomes. And these days is very common, multiple incomes, right? Everyone has a multiple incomes here, pretty much. Yeah, I do have multiple income. I know about him. He has a multiple income. She has a multiple incomes. Means more than one source of income. In that cases, so you have to know one income is on payroll, T4s and pay stub, job letter, done. And one income is he drives Uber. Uber is you T4As. He's driving Uber for 3 years. So it is self-employed. In self-employment, you have to ask 2 years T1s and 2 years notice of assessments. Because it's a combination of one payroll and one self-employment.
T1s, huh?
Notice
Notice of assessments.
Okay.
And don't forget, in T1s, there is something called statements of business activities. Because how much he made from the Uber, basically total T4A, plus his expenses, all these things. After that is a net income, and that net income will reflect. So your T1 will reflect two incomes. One T4 income on top, and the bottom you see gross business income and net business income. Because it is our responsibility to check it out, whatever the customer is saying is right. It's a cross check. So your T4 income will reflect on the T1, and your T4A gross income and net income both reflect on T1s.
The statement of business activity is also for 2 years.
Yeah, definitely, it's a part of T1. So I use the word full T1s.
That's a full team.
Full T1s. So whatever the documents we need to send, we can send it, right?
Sir, one small doubt.
Mm-hmm.
This may be stupid, but the T1 for multiple income, which shows T4 and T4As, both this one. The T4 will be the gross or net?
Both.
Both. No, the T4A will show for both gross and net.
Yes, in the bottom, yeah.
T4 income, will it be showing gross income or the net
No,
income?
T4 is just the gross income shows there, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it, So it's a cross check basically.
Okay.
It's supposed to be matched with the dollar to cent.
Mm.
It's a cross check too, right? Yeah. because underwriter going to the same thing. And it is our responsibility to know these documents, and these documents the customer providing. And this is the only way. We're not going to call CRA to see he filed the tax for this much amount or no. We can't do that. But the cross check is our responsibility. Cross check by name, cross check by the addresses, cross check by, everything in there basically. Yeah. So this is, I was trying to pull a T1, but anyway, maybe we'll do later. So now I'm talking about multiple incomes. Now another case, someone working as a self-employed truck driver, long haul, owner operator, also has a real estate license.
Owner operator.
Yeah, I'm giving an example.
Okay.
You have your own truck and you go to California. That's it. Take load. Also, you have a real estate license.
Mhm.
You're very active, and you able to sell maybe 5 houses pre-construction every year to your other truck drivers. So why not everyone want a separate side income? So what documents we needed from that? Incorporation of the
Okay, so this is a business.
business truck company
Yeah.
plus 3 to 6 months business account statements. T1's personal
Mhm.
and NOA.
Mhm.
T2's for business
Okay.
And I know it.
and business NOA.
Yeah.
Because why we need a business NOA? We want to see he doesn't owe anything to Revenue Canada.
Yeah, CRA.
Yeah, the bottom line is must be paid of whatever is shows on the.
There should be no owing.
Yeah, this is the one business, and always counter questions. Even say in Punjabi, mostly we truck local chalone hai, or you go over US. Oh, I drive US. What kind of a load you have? I have a CN load, or I have a Honeywell load, or I have this company, or work with Walmart, or maybe I work with Produce. Okay, so from where the Produce coming mostly? Just the counter questions to know your client. This is our responsibility to know that. Again, we are also, we are the first line of defense, we call it. Like a BSF in India right now on the border, right?
The knowledge that you get from that client, let's say after a month you get another client which is in the same business. If you express that you know something, that will create trust.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mm.
okay. Yes. I have always felt like when I first went for this one, I was like, why is he asking too many questions?
I know.
Mm.
You have to do a total analyze, right? So, okay, so the transportation is one side is happened, and another one real estate. So real estate he got issued T4A plus a letter from the real estate company is always good. How long you're working? Just working and then working from such time.
And license.
Or sometime if he able to get that he has 2 pending commissions for this year transactions, so whatever potential commission of will be such amount and all these things. Basically, if the letter says that is good, and then the T1 will show he took T4 from corporation, then he took dividend from corporation, and then his professional or business income or T4A and net. So combination of 3 incomes. And so remember, read the T1s very carefully in multiple incomes and self-employment. It's very important. 10 T1s you read it, and after that it will be just like a piece of cake for you. You know that. It's very simple. Yeah. And multiple incomes can be customer is working in Walmart as a
Associate.
buyer, for example, in management. He also has another job in that's not a right example actually. The buyers aren't allowed to work for another company.
He's like an associate in Walmart. He's like an associate in Tim Hortons.
Okay, beautiful example. Yes.
2
So,
basic jobs, 2
yeah.
basic rules.
Part-time in Walmart and part-time in Tim Hortons. So 2 years T4s for the both,
with the guaranteed.
and a letter of employment.
Mm.
Now the Walmart will say is, for example, working part-time and 15 to 28 hours. Oh, go to HR, what are the guaranteed hours? Oh, anybody working from 15 hours to 28 hours considered as a part-time here. So, okay, write it down, please. Whatever is there. Now you have to go by the T4. 1 year T4, 15,000, another one is 16,000, average is 15,500. Year to date is already, almost she reached to 11,000 already. Oh, it's a positive because she's making more this year. She's going to make. So take an average for this. But on the Tim Horton side is reverse. She made 10,000 in the previous year, 8,000 is this year, right? And previous year was maybe 12. So you take a 10 and 8, she will make 10 anyways. So 10. Based on that combined,
Whichever
and
is lesser.
so TT4s, 2 pay stubs, 2 letter of employments, and we need it.
Oh, so I think I just got confused. If the salary in these kind of scenarios, if the salary reduces on a year-to-year basis, we take the average.
No,
We take the minimum.
the lowest.
Oh,
Lowest.
we take the lowest. If the
If it
salary
is
goes up, we
increasing,
take the
then we take the
Lower,
average.
average.
yeah. We take the last year, like the latest year, the lower side. Not this year.
Mhm.
This is not a rule, but it is like a
So banks want to be safe.
It's a practice of
Lenders
lending.
want to be safe. So that's why.
Because
You-
if your income is declining, and that we will taking the lower income side.
So if
But-
we take an average, it will not be accepted by the bank.
No, no.
So we have to take look at. So
If it's going up, let's take average.
In that case, like 12, 10, 8, the Tim Horton job, we will take 8.
No, 12, 10, 8. 8
This year, just ignore. This year, just ignore.
12,
Last 2 years, if last year was lesser than the year before, take the lesser amount. If it is more, take the average of 2 years.
बढ़ जाएगा average से।
Yeah. But year to date, whatever the average you took or whatever the lower you took, the year to date supposed to be matching accordingly. Then the
Yeah,
process is complete.
इसमें आर्ट ज़्यादा साइंस कम है।
Yeah, this is art.
It's a mix of both things, I'm telling you. Yeah. So multiple incomes can be so many money. Now self-employed. If the customer is self-employed, right? So let's have a conversation. So you are a self-employed, a commission base, and you are a self-employed, a corporation base, and he is also a self-employed, but you are in the service industry of self-employment, and he is on the retail side of the self-employment, right? That's the questions go. Let's go with the retail side. So Amit, so you told me you're self-employed. So in retail side, what kind of business you have?
I have a restaurant.
Oh, restaurant. What kind of food?
It's Turkish food.
Oh, wow,
Fine
wow,
dining.
wow, wow, wow. Okay, beautiful. Amazing Turkish food, I like it.
Can you smell it?
Yes. And so where it is located?
It's in Vaughan.
In Vaughan. It's a beautiful area though, basically.
It is.
And you got any franchise or you have?
No, I established this business.
Oh my God, the same style, eh?
Who is the chef?
I am always
Remember, I'm telling you, yes, it's coming. Okay. So you created your own brand, right?
Yes.
So how many, if you don't mind, how many reviews you have in the Google percentage?
I'm sure more than 100.
All right.
All good reviews. You just
Yeah.
check it
All
out.
right. Okay, very nice. All right. So it's a family business, or you have employees also, or how big the dining space? How many customers?
It has 100 seats.
Okay.
And I have 15 employees.
Very nice. So you do events too over there?
I do that. Yes.
All right.
Corporate events.
All
Whenever you want to bring your team, bring it.
Is there any live music or dance or something I've seen somewhere?
No, I'm thinking of starting. that.
All right. Okay.
And
But
that's
the
why
co-
I need money. I want to
but-
upgrade my restaurant.
Yeah. So when did you open?
It's been 5 years now.
5 years. How are you surviving COVID time?
COVID time was tough.
Uh-huh.
To be honest, whatever income I was making from that, I was just using it. I didn't pay to CRA for 2 years.
Oh, really? But did you took those loans?
Yeah, I took loans.
Yeah.
If it is an opportunity, why you should leave it? Yeah.
I
just
am
don't-
curious to know that the government is asking those loans back or not. And I asking the question from the client to know the reality. I don't want to go to the whatever the media is saying or somebody saying. So did the government asking that money?
Yeah, of course. They need
So you start paying now?
I requested for extension, but then I have to pay.
Okay. How much interest they charging? Is they tell or is interest free or something?
Well, I was asked to pay it back on this last month on this
Okay.
date, but then now as I didn't pay that, so
Alright.
now I have to pay interest.
All right. So how long you came? I mean, how long you in Canada from Turkey?
10 years.
10 years. All right. You usually go back home.
No. Canada is my new home.
Next time you go, fix your hair.
You come with me. Go together. I know somebody. We can do it.
All right. So, what is your? You took any position in your own business,
Yeah, I'm the director.
or you're director? So, how you get paid?
Well, I get paid through dividends, but I'm paying salary to my wife.
All right. So, your wife is also part of the corporation,
She is not the part of the corporation.
and you're the sole owner.
Yes.
There you go, sir. Job done. Corporation. To confirm, he's a sole owner.
Mhm.
So, two things in the corporation. Corporation is 5 years old. In this kind of business, lots of partners comes and goes and all these things. So remember one thing: corporation. When the corporation was registered with articles, either Canada Corp or Ontario Corp, right? And Canada Corp, you can search online.
Yeah.
It can give you who's a director and everything. But take that search. If Canada Corp, Ontario, ask for the current online report of the corporation.
Mm.
It gives you who's
Who are the directors?
the current director. So if he's saying Hunt sole owner, and sometime, oh, there is another person with the same last name. Oh my God, I just had my son actually 6 months before. All right, that's fine.
Mm.
Then the question comes, maybe he forgot. He's a 20% owner. So now he's 80% owner.
Mm.
But still, he's a bigger chunk owner. We have a positive. When it comes to 50-50, risk is high
Mm.
for lender. So because he is a bigger chunk owner, on top of that, the partner is also a family member. It is for me as a positive. If it's third party, then the conflict chances are more and more and more, right? More usually it's family settled, sometime a nicer and easy way if there is a dispute in the business. But coming back to the point, in corporation, so I need a 6 months business account statements to see exactly how much, right, the revenue is coming,
Deposits are coming.
deposits are coming, and I want to see here's a 15 employees working in there. I want to see there's it means definitely sales going to be amazing, right? And he's a rich Turkish guy. He looks like he has a 15 employees,
Without hair.
Yeah.
With
So-
some here.
Then I want to see there's an event, and I will ask him the events you do under same corporation or you have another company for the events only. So these questions.
I have one more question.
Mhm.
So, as you said, you're in restaurant business. You might also be having cash income.
Yes.
What do you do and how do you register?
How do you take care of that?
Yeah.
That will come in the financial statement.
No, he says, okay, one thing.
Sometimes I declare.
Okay.
Yeah.
Both of
No, in the conversation, he can say that, okay, one thing, it's depend. And there's nothing wrong, whatever he's saying, if it's the reality is this mostly. So whatever for my daily expenses, whatever I need,
I use it.
I use it. I deposit it in the corporation, for example, that, but if everything is with that under, mostly people use those
POS machines.
POS machines, basically that their software to be, all the accounting, it's easy for them. We can show we got a one yesterday for a client for B-side. And now the cash income is good question, but cash income is going less and less by less because mostly people using the cards now these days, Uber Eats and, before you takeouts are mostly now people hardly go out from the house and take out, First, you already had a one beer, why to take a risk on the road? That's okay. We know I'm not driving. I'm not going myself. I'm sitting here sipping another beer instead of the food is there.
But it's more
This is
like
the way that these are. Yeah.
Asian restaurants, they have like if you pay in cash, you don't have to pay tax.
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
that's why they have a lot
Right
of
now,
cash income.
Asians are. I've seen is in the business wise. We are ethnic communities. Till I was telling Divya yesterday, I was touching one's hand is a credit card, even it's a $20,000 limit, and this is $100 bill. I feel the weightage in the $100 bill. Like the ownership is like a real. So that credit card, even the debit card I have maybe 20,000 in savings. That does not look like it's just yeah. So this is more comfortable for survival point of view when I think about the cash. So that mentality is nothing wrong with that, but it will go with the time.
And also one more thing, sir, on a side note.
Mm-hmm.
So the value of the money. So for
Mhm.
example, I purchased something for $50. I paid $50 in cash. Okay, the value of the money is 50. Value to the product is $50. Okay, that guy uses that money, buys something else for $50. He pays the same $50. The value is not changed of that
Yeah.
money. But if you pay in card, say for example, debit card or credit card, they charge 2% processing fee for that. The vendor. So the value of the money goes down if you pay in card. It is a broad daylight scam from the government. So by the time that $50 passes 10, 20 transactions electronically, the value of that real hard cash value will be somewhere around.
But
50
the other one thing, you have to create jobs. If you're not creating a jobs, then we will definitely looting each other over here.
But that's
1.4 billion people in India. That how much jobs, and even it goes a 50 paisa in one transaction. See how much we creating the revenue. I look at that way.
Okay.
If somebody is making nothing and just always stressed out, and he's doing some job in an IT company for the same companies, making $30,000-$40,000 a month or 20,000 a month too, but surviving, there is a surviving for that, but doing nothing, and so that we need it. Sometimes things that got created to keep the humans calm. What I think, because we are the worst animals when it comes to the
And
low
also
levels.
keep an eye on it, right?
Yeah.
There's no definition of how much cash you can use versus there's a clear-cut definition and monitoring of how much tap you can do.
Yeah.
It's monitored, right? वो
Definitely.
जो ट्रैकिंग की होती हैं कैश में तो फिर
No, definitely.
In US, many times you might have heard that they attack in the convenience store, take the cash.
you can grab the
But if it
cash.
is no cash, if it is all
Yeah.
the card, you're safe.
Definitely, yeah.
That's why they are going to the merchandise.
But see, the next generation, they will more comfortable with
Card.
for digital money. We are grown up with the cash, with those coins. We can forget that value of and the joy of that coins.
The tea in our hand.
Yeah. All right. So, okay, coming back to the point. So I was asking question. He has another company for
Events.
events. He said yes. Okay. So these questions, suppose we need to be asked.
Proactively.
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't even. He's filing the taxes with the two different companies, but in T1 General, in one company you see, he definitely issuing the T5s also. So ask corporations, personal T1, personal NOIs, T2s, corporate NOIs, minimum 6 months business account statements, 3 to 6 months business account statements.
Personal account statement. Okay, so he is not taking salary. He's taking dividends. So for
Yeah, he's
that
taking a
part,
dividend.
yeah.
45.
Wife is taking salary.
Yeah.
We can use the wife's income.
Mm.
So 2 years T4s for the wife, 2 years T1 General and NOIs for the wife.
Mm.
And remember that T4s are different. When the family member works for the corporation, in the T4, there's no EI.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's
okay.
no
No, but-
EI.
No, but you have to pay the year, right? I mean,
It's not for
CBP.
family member.
Okay.
Corporation and family members, no EI.
Okay. I was
Then
like,
everybody make a corporation and
Yeah.
wife making 6 months, and after that give a layoff to the wife, and wife is just on enjoying. Yeah, he's not like that. So, plus he must have some assets,
Mhm.
right? I seen in his credit report when I seen there's a lease of a Benz,
Mm,
$1,500 a month
mm,
payment.
Mm.
All right. So I can see the capacity of the customer definitely.
Mm.
So yes, there is a usage of the credit cards and some other things, but he's doing good in the business.
Mm.
It's a good case. So we're using the average T4 income for the wife same way. Average if it's going this way, lower if it's going lower. And I can ask you why the salary is low. Oh, she was off for 2-3 months, gone back home, and she was off. It's family business, right? So these are the source of the down payment. If the source of the down payment is a business
Okay.
account,
Okay, business account, yeah.
it's very technical.
Yeah.
You need 200,000 for down payment, and that $200,000 sitting in your business account. If you borrow from the business, yes, you can borrow from the corporation to the personal for a 1 year period, 5% rate of interest. You borrow from your own corporation, and then use that money towards down payment. So financial institution ask a letter from accountant that the money he is using, withdrawing from the business account, in next income tax he will filing that withdrawal as income,
Okay.
either dividend or maybe in shape of salary, whatever the accountant will do for whatever. So that is the main thing in here,
As your income.
because down payment should not be borrowed.
Yeah.
Remember, this is the patthar pe lakhi rahi hai with the A lenders.
Yeah.
Down payment cannot be borrowed,
Which you own.
right?
Which you own.
So in this case, if he just simply taking 200,000 in the account, okay, use it his business, he's 100% owner of the business, he can do it. But for compliance purposes, file can get failed. How you can prove this is borrowed money from the corporation or it is income
Okay.
generated from the corporation?
One thing. Since he is not taking any salary, he is taking dividends.
Mm-hmm.
And if the auditor, the accountant says that he will show it as his income,
Mm-hmm.
so that will be shown as a dividend income.
Dividend is also income.
Yeah.
Bank
Dividend.
is not going to ask next year, did you file or not?
Okay.
Yeah. If you lie to the bank, for example, and going back to the bank again,
Mm.
and there's a notes that he took 200,000 dividend for the down payment, and your income is same like 100,000 dividend,
Mm.
they can ask you.
Okay.
Then it's not a good terms with the bank
Mm.
because you lied to the bank,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So they can even for misrepresentation, they can even cancel your existing not the mortgage. I mean,
The renewal.
they may discontinue
Yeah.
the
They
business
can
with
refuse the
you.
renewal.
Saw one post where bank can actually cancel your application if they found out that you misrepresented.
Application.
If the file is closed,
For example, I showed a property that it's going to be my primary.
mhm,
If it's not primary,
mhm,
they got to know after 2 months, 3 months.
mhm.
They can actually cancel that application.
They can file mortgage fraud against you, but they can't cancel the mortgage.
Okay.
After closing.
Under misrepresentation, I don't know what the law regulators says about that because this is not our part to work on that.
Mm-hmm.
It's the back end of the big institutions, right?
Mm.
Their security or their investigation, fraud investigation, they deal with it. What is there? But because of their reputations and consumers are always right kind of thing or whatever, there's lots of gray area. It's hard to prove that customer lie or not. And how are you going to prove the person who did a mortgage in the branch or mortgage specialist or mortgage agent lied about that or not?
Mm.
Simple. So they will say, okay, we discontinue the business. We're not going to renew your mortgage in the future. You have to take somewhere else. And whatever your accounts, just take the money out. We just discontinue.
So coming back to this Turkish restaurant example, is it possible? Can there be a scenario where the house is in the name of the restaurant
Incorporation.
instead of taking a
business.
down payment?
That will be a business property.
Okay. Well, house is the security for the bank,
Yeah.
right? And if he's buying the house under the same corporation, if his business going underwater and he's under debts, so his house is an asset of that corporation,
Yeah.
and the equity of the house can be in jeopardize. Because the same corporation, you have a business. Business is an asset of the corporation, and the house is also an asset of the corporation. Yes, he can buy a house, another holding company, because this is an operating corporation.
Of course.
Yeah. So this one is basically you can open a holding company. Holding company's job is to hold your assets under a corporation. In the future, whatever the benefits or profits, all the tax liabilities of will be under the Corporation Act.
I think
So it's a
house should be in the personal name.
all
And in case there is property for commercial property, that can be.
that can be corporation business name. But usually people does this. The business is running under different corporation, and the property you own and running the business is a different corporation. It's liabilities. If tomorrow you're doing bankruptcy or whatever the reason you have to do a bankruptcy, the corporation, the property you own, is a different entity.
So is there a benefit from having it under a holdco rather than under your name?
The holdco is only investment property. Mostly people buying the properties under holdco if you want to invest in a rental property.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is fine. But this is for example, his principal home. So principal home, you don't need to buy under holdco.
It's a different world altogether for taxation.
So that's the thing, lots of learning. And it's very amazing, You know about taxes a lot. You know more about personal taxes, corporate taxes. So like we know more than the basics in the mortgages because we lending the money to the people. So we have to make very strict decisions, calculative decisions, with all logic decisions. It's not any emotional things, basically,
It's just think if you take under a holdco,
Mm-hmm.
right, and you basically make yourself a tenant.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a self-employed person, you can write off all the.
You can do it.
You can write off
No,
all
no,
the-
of course you can do it. But most of the time, I got a fight with the bank I used to work one time. One of my clients wanted to buy a principal home under holdco. My underwriter was asking why the principal is under holding company.
So lenders.
I said it's customer's choice. I was just stick to one thing. Do we have a product that you can buy a principal home under holding company? Yes or no? Yes, but nobody does that.
So that doesn't mean that he can't do that.
But I will stick with one thing. It's customer's choice. It's customer's choice. And finally, it's got approved.
It may not make sense if you're a payroll employee, but if you're a self-employed
Yeah.
person,
Mhm.
then you can pay your rent as.
No, you can do that. You definitely can do that. Yeah. You can write off the things basically, accordingly in this case. Yeah. But, principal home, if you are a businessman and you have good resources and everything, that is fine. Otherwise, यहाँ principal home buy करना होता है यार mortgage approval कर देंगे यहाँ लाले पड़े होते वो next step तो तब सोचोगे ना आप
अब ये कैश रिसीट लेते हैं रेस्टोरेंट में, इनकम नहीं दिखाते उसको, टैक्स नहीं पे करते, हाउ वी कैन कैलकुलेट टेक इट एज इनकम?
देखिए जो चीज दिख रही है ना हम तो उसी को कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं. हाँ उसमें कह सकते हैं कि 100,000 का रेवेन्यू है, मे बी 5% कैश 105 लगा लेंगे,
जो भी
एक assumption लगा सकते हैं उसमें ना, एक एक्सेप्शन बेसिस, एक्सेप्शन के लिए मान लो किसी का छोटा सा टेक आउट ही है बेसिकली, तो बट बैंक का कोई एक लिमिट है कि कितना हम ग्रॉस का कितना हम ऐड ऑन कर सकते हैं कैश का. इट्स नॉट लाइक 20-25% हो भी,
cash can also be shown as revenue.
हो भी, लेकिन बैंक कहता है हम देंगे आपको लोन, लेकिन दिख नहीं रहा है ना.
देखो कैश कहीं ना कहीं एसेट्स में दिखता है, पर्सनल एसेट्स में दिखता है.
नहीं ये सारे के सारे यहाँ अपनी गोलकों में रखते हैं यहाँ कोई नहीं पता कैसे आता है यार.
और जैसे कोई गाड़ी बेच रहा है 35 लाख की गाड़ी बेच रहा है, 35 लाख पूरा कैश का कैश आया उसके पास.
हाँ यहाँ पे कैश
गाड़ी
नहीं
तो
है,
एसेट बन गई ना उसकी.
नहीं यहाँ तो बन गया, यहाँ पे कैश नहीं है, यहाँ पे कैश है ही नहीं हिसाब किताब. आप कोई भी चीज आप किसी को कैश दोगे ना, सबसे पहले कैश लेन देन करोगे, तो वो एक लाइबिलिटी इशू भी हो जाता है आपका बेसिकली। यहाँ पे आप ठीक है 500, 1000, 1200, 1500 की पेमेंट हम ट्रांजैक्शन कर देते हैं, मोस्टली तो 3000 तक हम आजकल सारे ई ट्रांसफर ही करते हैं। एक तो इज अ प्रूफ मनी इज पेड, राइट? तो यहाँ पे
कैश से परचेज की हुई कोई भी प्रॉपर्टी है पर्सनल प्रॉपर्टी, तो क्या हम एसेट्स लायबिलिटी में नहीं दिखा सकते उसको?
सर कैश
लोन
लोन कैश जो है, कैश अब हार्ड कैश की बात कर रहे हैं, हार्ड कैश को लॉयर नहीं लेगा यहाँ।
You have to declare under field track, right?
Yeah.
Every lawyer has to declare.
लॉयर के पास अगर आपने 5 लाख की प्रॉपर्टी लेके गए हैं, आप ब्रीफ केस ले गए, ये लो पकड़ भाई, लॉयर कहेगा भाई मैं इसको कहाँ जमा करवाऊं, मुझे मैं बैंक में जाके अपने ट्रस्ट अकाउंट में इसको डालूंगा, सो मुझे बताना पड़ेगा सोर्स ऑफ द इतना बड़ा कैश। सो उस चक्कर में लॉयर को ये नहीं कहता मैं ले नहीं सकता है, या लेकिन उसकी कॉन्सिक्वेंसेज जो उसको बताने पड़ेंगे एग्जैक्टली, क्योंकि लॉयर्स के भी ऑडिट्स होते हैं, अकाउंटिंग के, तो उसको डालना बड़ा मुश्किल हो जाएगा। ये बात
मेरे को इनकम है रेस्टोरेंट से,
हम्म
मैंने फ्रिज खरीद लिया एक
हम्म,
कैश से,
हम्म।
फ्रिज मेरी एक एसेट बन रही
हाँ वो अलग बात,
है, मतलब
उस
वो-
अमाउंट तक है। हाँ या मैं समझ गया आपकी बात,
तो कहीं ना कहीं वो काउंट करता है ना।
काउंट करता है, लेकिन मोस्टली जो लिक्विड एसेट्स हैं, जो मॉर्गेज एप्लीकेशंस में या हम जब बोरो करते हैं, तो उसमें ये चीजें मायने नहीं रखती। यस, व्हीकल इज डेफिनेटली इज डेप्रिशिएट, जो भी चीज डेप्रिशिएट हो रही है ना, वो एक उसको एसेट नहीं मान सकते हम। या आज आपने 1200 की ली है, तो साल बाद फ्रिज की वैल्यू तो वो 800 रह गई ना। इसलिए यस, लेकिन उसमें आपके जो है ना कि कल को वो मोस्टली यहाँ बैंक क्या देखते हैं, लिक्विड एसेट्स वो हों जब रेनी टाइम आए वो आपको सपोर्ट कर सके। RRSP कैश कर सकते हो आप, जो भी टैक्स लायबिलिटी है उसको एडवांस में देके, आप स्टॉक्स कैश कर सकते हो,
म्यूचुअल फंड है।
म्यूचुअल फंड्स हैं, GIC है, बाकी और चीजें हैं। हाँ, लेकिन ये जो चीजें हैं आप बता रहे हैं, हाँ गाड़ी है, मान लो किसी के पास उसने 2003 साल पुरानी कोई बेंज या कोई लग्जरी गाड़ी है, yes that holds the value, yes, but it's not like the underwriter will consider on positive way. It's a, जो assets जो हैं वो depreciate हो रहे हैं, उनको वो consider नहीं करेंगे, they will not consider that.
कॉमन सेंस में एक सपोर्ट समझ लेंगे कि देयर इज समथिंग,
Yeah.
अदरवाइज दे विल नॉट।
Yeah. So whenever you fill the application, ask minute details. If the customer has a TFSA $3,000, $3,500, everything has a value. Just put it in there.
वन थिंग मोर,
Yeah.
कैश आता है हमारे पास,
जी।
हम उसको रिमॉडलिंग करते हैं अंदर से
हम्म।
मकान की,
Mm-hmm.
रिनोवेट करवाते हैं,
हम्म।
फर्नीचर है, बाकी सब चीजें हैं, तो उसके मकान की तो वैल्यू बढ़ती है उससे,
Of course बढ़ती है value. Of course बढ़ती है value.
जबकि आया वो सारा कैश से ही है।
Okay, that's why mostly when mostly during refinance of the property or based on situation, जैसे मैंने कहा कि customer bought a property 2 years back, the value is going 5% every year, but I'm asking higher value. I'm telling the bank its value is higher. Or customer bought from the builder, but after 1 year, he finished the basement with side entrance, $70,000. Upstairs, there was all carpet, he put a hardwood floor. So $130,000 spent on renovations. Okay, they will order full appraisal. Appraisal, okay, we'll say, okay, this. They will not ask for the receipts for that because
सोर्स ऑफ द
so payment कहाँ से दी है, क्या दी exactly. But the only way the bank can know about that is
Renovation is done.
definitely.
Same goes for business.
Yeah. And another thing, it was from builder to builder refinance. After 2 years, but in old MLSs always say the property, what it used to be look like, because if the property was sold 5 years back, there was a pictures 5 years old of the property in MLS, and then current the appraisal has the pictures, so they have access for that. Yeah. So yes, that thing is definitely there. Yeah. And so one example was another one. Aapka example.
Contract.
Oh, commission based. So you're a self-employed with commission based person. So you want to be a mortgage agent or a real estate agent? So we have to know who get commissions. Car sales people get commission, right?
Car sale. Yeah. Any sales job primarily gets commission.
But car sales people's commission, they got issued T4 because majority of them commission get paid after CPP, EI, and tax deductions. I was working in a bank. I was 100% commission based income. My income was 100% commission, and CPP, EI, and taxes were deducted by the employer at source. I got issued T4. So whatever my gross income, I can use to qualify. There's a two commissions, like one, there's a deductions, one is there's no deductions. Real estate agents, there's no deductions. Mortgage agents, no deductions. And insurance agents, no deductions. But it's commission. So for us, T4A, gross, and after expenses, net income, we can use it. But we can, so this is one. And there is a sole proprietorship.
Sole proprietorship is again
We're
self-employment.
doing some cleaning business.
Yeah.
Sole proprietorship, basically, they are small businesses. You have a electronic shop or for repair or something, flea markets, and you can do even an IT business under sole too. Right.
Sole proprietorship, basically, it's like the liability is still the owner, whereas incorporation transfers to the company.
Absolutely right. But it gives you a privilege to register the name of your business and you can
Business
open an
and write
account.
off expenses.
Yeah.
basically, and so-
Yeah, definitely. Yes, yeah. In sole proprietorship, again, gross business income, net business income, but only in sole proprietorship. The average income of 2 years we're gonna take, right? In self-employed cases, always 2 years average income.
Right.
So 2 years net income. If it's going up, we'll take average. If the income is declining, we take the lower one and add 15% on it.
In sole proprietorship.
Yes. So in all institutions, the product for sole proprietorship income, you can gross up the income up to 15%.
Minimum plus 15%.
Yes. For example, average income is 100,000.
Right.
In the application, you use 115%.
Average plus 15%.
Right? Full-time permanent income को छोड़ के बाकी हर जगह 2 साल इंपॉर्टेंट है. पार्ट टाइम इनकम में 2 साल इंपॉर्टेंट है एवरेज. सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयमेंट में हमेशा 2 साल की एवरेज इंपॉर्टेंट है. लेकिन जब somebody is full time permanent income, वहां पे 2 साल की नहीं चाहिए हमें, unless we are using the average T4 income if he is getting a bonus or overtime. Otherwise, job letter pay stub enough for the full-time permanent job. In case of they're getting bonus, overtime, other incentives, the T4's income are higher than the base salary, then we can ask for 2 years T4s. But always ask for T4. But product-wise, don't never confuse 2 years because we're confusing 2 years a lot here. Yeah. So commission-based 2 years. In this case, 2 years. I'm an IT specialist per $190,000 package, job letter pay stub. Yes, for bonus or other incentives, I will see the T4s are 220 and 225, then I take average. Ask for documents, but we know it's not necessity to be sent the T4s to the bank. Job letter pay stub for full-time permanent positions are enough. Right. And the third one was example for truck driving, right? Yeah. So truck driving. So you drive local or you go a long haul?
I go long haul.
All right. All right.
cross border.
So, which company you have a contract with?
I have contract with Midland.
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 Okay. Midland. Where's their warehouse?
It's in Brampton.
In Brampton. Okay. Nice. So, how many trucks you have?
I own 3 trucks,
All right.
of which one I drive, and I have one my brother drives,
Uh-huh.
and there is another one we have an employee.
So basically, you have a 2 employee,
Yeah.
including one of your family member. That's fine.
Yeah.
Employee can be anyone, and but you drive your own truck.
Yeah.
So how you pay yourself? From
So
the company?
I make myself as a self-employed.
Uh-huh.
So so that I can show write off the expenses of the truck.
I understand that, but my question is that you taking a salary, or you taking a dividend, or you taking both?
Dividends.
Dividends. I take monthly.
No, not monthly. Once a quarter or
Okay.
twice a
All
year.
right, great. And 3 trucks you having it, right? So the trailers, do you own the trailers or you lease the trailers?
I lease those trailers.
All right. Point to be noted, he leased the trailer, his business account statement must be reflecting the lease payments that we're getting withdrawal from there, right? Your trucks are paid off or on the lease or loan?
One of them is paid off.
Okay,
2 of the other trucks are in loan.
all right, okay. So those 2 payments must be withdrawn from the business account statement. So another thing, so you drive long haul, so you got paid US dollars or you got paid in Canadian dollars exactly? Sometime.
It's Canadian.
Answer the tough question, US dollar.
Yeah, it's
US dollar.
US dollar. Okay.
So what happened if you have a US dollar account, they get paid in US dollar. So mostly RBC is seen they have 2 accounts, north and south. So you put the money in the US dollar, that's a south account, RBC south. They call it south, other side of the border, and then you can easily transfer to the north account.
Then
It's under the same corporation umbrella, right?
then you'll get the same actual salary or earning
Yeah.
in North.
Yeah. So that's the thing, So whatever your US expensive you have to pay from US, and the rest of the money is under same corporation anyway. Yeah. But accounting can be a little bit challenging in that because lots of transfer to account, that's not income. So we got a story about it, right? And subcontracting. When it's T2, we have to see he's paying, subcontracting expenses as the drivers, because definitely he's paying it. So based on the story, corporation, both accounts, 6-month statements, T1 general personal, NOA personal, T2 business, and corporation NOA. That and after that we will analyze the deal. He can go A side or he can go B side, right? So that's the thing. Now coming to which industry profession, like I was asking, ask further questions. Door gonna keep open. More questions gonna keep coming, and some of the things customer will explain to you. Some of the things you're gonna learn. Tell the customer, show your interest in customer's business. Like customers love it.
Everyone loves it.
Yes, you talk about my business, you're talking about, some good things about the business, then the customer will let you know exactly how much is spent in there, how is this employee, who took my $10,000 from this, and the other employee was stealing the money from cash register. Well, he will tell you everything.
इनकम है as per house, तो इनका डिविडेंड भी इंक्लूड होगा प्लस कॉर्पोरेशन का जो प्रॉफिट है वो भी इंक्लूड होगा.
Yes, उसमें क्या है? There is a product called business for self. In that cases, the down payment is, I have to review the product again. So that product is 35% down, and we can take the net business income, maybe 50%, 60%, depend on the bank's products. In that case, we can use it because bank want more cushion.
जो प्रॉफिट है वो भी करेंगे यार, इन्हीं का ही है.
Of course, मानते हैं आपकी बात, राइट? तो लेकिन बैंक क्या करता है कि अगर प्रॉफिट ह्यूज है it's fine. If the profit is 200,000, 300,000 revenue and the profit is $30,000, $40,000, it's not a big room to be in net income. In reality, the expenses are too high for any small business here. So you're barely having a net income in the end. And first 4 or 5 years, who shows the income here?
Yeah.
Unless there is a big factory is running here, 50 employees, 60 employees, that's a different level of the things. But on that case, in that big businesses, you have a multiple partners then.
One more question. And they have provided for, he has provided for depreciation
Mm-hmm.
of the trucks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Of course, that will be part of all financial statements and everything.
But it has not made any expenses for that.
I know,
It only provision for that.
definitely. Yeah.
That should be taken as income.
वो only उन cases में they are not a conventional product of the bank. तो banks के products हैं या e-lending के products हैं, वो ज़्यादा इतने detail में नहीं जाएंगे unless आप ये जो चीज़ें count पता कब होती हैं जब कोई customer is high net worth customer. हमारे भी यहाँ 1 truck owner, 2 truck owner जो हैं, they consider is a very small business. The revenue up to $500,000 under is mostly business. You will hardly see a business net income there. Yes, and if we're going for the private lending, overall financial statements they consider because they are not doing any traditional lending. They are more into the,
Value of the property.
definitely the more detail about the business and all these things. Banks are simply T1 general NOA, just wrap it up. Financial, okay. I will do one accounting that everyone has to attend that. How to understand the financial statements. So majority of the banks people over here is very less population. They understand the concept of that. Even the underwriters who underwrite the files for majority of the A-lenders who can read the financial statements properly, it's a question mark. So I will definitely give a training one time over here, right? But in A-lending में इतना ज़्यादा consideration नहीं. A-lending में क्या है? They will ask the T2s. T2s has a give you statement. That's definitely a financial statement. How much the gross, how much the expenses, and how much the dividend was taken, and how much the net income and all these things. Yes, financial statements have a retained earnings and all, the depreciate assets and all these things in there. But that only go with when do a commercial lending, business loans, and but for the residentials, they keep it simple.
In India, while taking DSR, reason for depreciation is also taken.
I understand that, but it is not in the residential side of that. But that when you go to commercial, that is definitely taken under consideration about that. So the documents, we understand exactly about the income, we got it. Now the down payment. Always ask the down payment upfront. Because end of the day, 80% of the files are headache before the down payment. Why is headache? Customer was saying something verbally, something else, and when you see the statements, it's totally different. Oh, we give you a 90-day statement, there's a 5,000 deposit, 10,000 transfer, there's an e-transfer for $3,000, then there's a $28,000 check deposit. Bro, from where this money came from? Bank wanna ask you, what is the source of money? As low as $3,000, they can ask you. Even the high ratio mortgages, at one point they used to ask anything above 1,400. Then I was, laughing with my underwriter. His salary deposit is more than 1,400. Why don't you ask that? She said, I know about that. But they can ask. So, first instruction to the customer. Do not transfer the money for one account to this account, to RRSP to this, TFSA to this. They start planning. Honey, do what? Your TFSA, just put in this account. I'm putting in my RSP here, then we will do it. So closing will be in 60 days. We will all take money together. So husband, wife, or whatever family members, they're making a plan together. No.
Without understanding the complications.
because it's very hard. This 30,000 came to this account. From that 30, 10 can go here and 20 go here. That 20 going as initial deposit. That 10 came back after 30 days again because customer want to take a leverage for 1.9% rate of interest of saving for 1 month. Come back here. Lots of things you will see. You're gonna laugh. You will be angry about that. Tell the customer, first of all, give me the source of your initial deposit. Oh, I'm going to use my RBC line of credit for $20,000. Why? Oh, my money is stuck in TFSA, so I don't want to, cash it as in a mutual fund right now. All right. You know the story. But you have to pay that 20,000. You know that. Oh yeah. As soon as I'm going to cash the TFSA and all these things, then I will pay it off. Right? Okay. Tell him to make that transaction. Take a statement of line of credit, copy of draft. It was made from line of credit. Means it's borrowed money for the meantime, but he's paying it off, right? Because he borrowed and paid off, it's okay. But you have to know, or you tell the customer, no, don't use the line. The best thing, don't use the line. Transfer the amount you needed from TFSA and then make a drop. It's easy. Trail is very important. Very important in trail in the down payment. So ask every account he or she has a funds saved 90 days statement. Every account. Then you analyze which one you want to use. This one has a $200 balance for a long time. You don't need it. Okay, this one has this, and ask the questions if they're in large deposits. And if the money is not enough, the customer will say, oh, one thing, my brother was giving me money as a gift. Yes. So the gift letter. So before you submitting the file, you're telling the client 54,000 from TFSA, 22,000 RRSP, $66,000 is gift from the brother, and $35,000 in the checking and saving account together. You got our point. Otherwise, in the application, you writing a source is this, and later on the source is different. It's question mark. And every application, put some gift. Even you don't need it.
For buffer.
Mm-hmm. Always.
Even without asking them or
Just put it. Later on, you can see the customer has the money from more sources. We don't need it here. They will say, oh, thank God. And writer will say, okay, one condition not, you don't need it. Yes, everybody can get gift. But we are not using towards now. So that is important, right? So savings, checking, 90 days history. TFSA, again, 90 days history. TFSA is in the mutual fund. The mutual funds are in the Scotia Trade. Sometimes the statements comes quarterly. January, February, March, and April, May, June. So the last quarter plus current balance, it matches. The balance is still there. You're okay. RRSP, first time home buyer.
Same thing happened with us. So initially, when we came to Canada, that excitement, one of my friends guided me that okay, you are getting 300 from Scotia new account. So I opened my wife's account, Scotia, got 300. Then we moved to BMO, got that benefit. Then I moved to RBC, got that iPad. At a time of house shopping, so the reality came that okay, how many accounts do you have? So I was like, I had this phase. So he said he was known to me. He said that बता दे कितने हैं ताकि clarity रहेगी. I said 3 for me, 2 for her. The क्यों? First thing I was like, why?
Yeah.
I said 300 iPad. कहता तेरे 3 बैंक पे तो हम कुछ फर्क नहीं कर सकते. Let's be very honest. तेरी प्रोफाइल वहाँ खुल चुकी है. So it was like नहीं पता था. So
I know.
So ये जोक नहीं है कि आप किसी चीज के लिए कुछ कर रहे हो, आपको उसका implication नहीं पता. Coming from a background जहाँ पे दूसरा अकाउंट भी नहीं होता था इंडिया में कि एक चल रहा है, वही मेरा अभी भी एक ही चल रहा है 15 साल से.
देखिए अब क्लाइंट मेरे पास कोई आया है और मैं उसको डेफिनेटली मॉर्गेज डालनी है, सो आई वांट टू मेक श्योर द कस्टमर इज कमिटेड टू मी एंड आई विल टेल द कस्टमर डू नॉट शॉप अराउंड, डू नॉट गो टू एनी बैंक टू अप्लाई एनीथिंग because more inquiries will drop your score, right? and I am working, why are you inquiring somewhere else then? Make sure, we start the job when the customer is totally committed to us. That's all. It is this business is definitely a partnership with the customer too, because we both as a team work together with the lender, and we are working I am working for you and for the lender also, and we will take you to level that lender is happy, he's getting a good business, and you're getting a borrower friendly a mortgage product, right? That includes the rate and the product for the future plan. That's a combination. I am not selling rate. Always I tell the customer one thing: I am not selling rate. Listen, I can sell rate 1.99. Just throw them, but I don't want. Why? Somebody will give you a 1.95 and you will run away. Just throw on the customer like you are like that, man. But we saying the market is like that, but you are like that. Actually, by saying the market is like that, then what? I work hard, buddy. I have to pay my bills too. So I'm getting a definitely commission on the deal when the deal gets funded. So you have to show me your commitment. Otherwise, if you bringing me like throwing a one roti in four we are four mortgage specialist agents as the monkeys, and we're gonna fight for that. I don't want to be that monkey. I will work so hard, so good for you, but you have to show your commitment with me. Yes. Or give me your preference. If you are looking for only rate, that debate I never gonna win. It's like especially I don't know, the both girls don't alike. You're never gonna win the debate with your wife, right? So it's something like that. And see, when the rate comes, it's not, and it's a proven record. Since I ignored the rate, that's it. It's not in my
Game plan.
definitely. Yes, but we do have a good rates. HSBC has a good rate. Our A lending side, TD Bank is one of the competitor, and HSBC has another one is a good rates. And we have a B lending. Definitely, that's banks are not in competition at all in that, but we have an amazing B lending, amazing private lending, and little by little, because bank rates are 6.5% now, 6.7%. Prime is over 7%. There is an acceptance in the consumer to go B side or private for 9.99 or 9%.
7 to 9, first lending on private side 7 to 9.
So acceptance is increasing because those good days वो अच्छे दिन गए.
वापस आए.
वो less than 2% one gone. Yeah.
This question वापस आएंगे. Somebody asked me, how is the market going? Market अभी कैसा लग रहा है? कैसा, will it come back or will the rate of interest go high again? So I gave him the answer. Market is like your wife. You can never understand it. You can never understand.
Yeah. So आज के लिए ये 3 काफी है basically.
Yes.
Right. Next Saturday, what we call talk about high ratio versus conventional. Right. The reason I'm gonna repeat it again and again. Maybe after 1 month I'm gonna do it again. Reason, more you're gonna listen, because it's a lots of confusing thing because of our technical names and all these things. But again and again, when we listen, it's yeah. And I always try to be explain in a different next way. The next time I will explain, it will be different language in different way. So you can, maybe more questions gonna come on that time. So we will talk about high ratio conventional, fixed, and because I explained this fixed and that mortgage, the same thing we're gonna do it again, and budgeting. Three things we're gonna talk about. Yeah.
So one thing, this I saw in the slide, and also remember studying for the course. One of the red flags that they say is that if there is a non-correlation between two jobs or the job switch in the file of a borrower. So why do they say that? Say for example, even me, I'm into software right now. Say for example, if I move full time into this, there is a non-correlation between these two jobs, right? So why is that? Why do they say that it is a red flag?
Correlation means
Is it a red flag?
Is it a
first of
red
all?
flag? I'm also hearing for the first time.
No, not to under,
No, no.
like not to like say
I-
that it's incorrect, but is it a red flag? Because
I want to understand the meaning of the correlation here exactly. In what,
Say, when you said Uber driver, so you are expecting,
Same
you were
industry.
expecting a truck industry to Uber driver. So there is a correlation between the two jobs.
okay, so we have to think about that.
Mm.
What was before, what is now, and what is the reason?
Okay.
reason.
Okay.
Mm.
He was manager in Tim Horton,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
Now he joined IT industry
Mm.
and got a full-time job.
Mm.
He was Tim Horton last year,
Mm.
and 2 years is working, and suddenly he got a $90,000 job from $19.
Mm.
All right. He did study.
Mm.
He was doing a part-time study, and he completed the study. He got a job.
Mm.
There's a totally different,
Yeah.
but the story is right.
Mm.
And the story is right, and definitely he improved himself.
Mm.
He's showing that he's improving in
Mm.
his income capacity and
In
everything,
character.
and that's a human does,
Mm.
right? So he's it's a positive.
He's on the right path.
Always there's a reason for that,
Mm.
and everybody want to make more money. Whatever I'm making today, I want to make tomorrow more. Everybody want to grow financially. Everybody want to grow on, like being a better lifestyle for, and the money is important for everything. So if somebody is improving, he should be out of probation, full time, permanent.
Okay.
That is, if he was an IT person and got a job in Tim Horton as a $19,
Yeah, that.
then it's not. There must be some reason in that
Mm,
case,
mm.
basically. Right? He got any kind of issue can happen, like he has to, go back home, stay there, lost a job, come back, and restarting.
Start from scratch.
So that's okay too. But we can take his income either. He's working in Tim Horton. Doesn't matter. He was.
Mm.
It is. Yeah. In case if we're taking 2 years average,
Mm.
or if the person is out of probation.
Mm.
So from IT side to got another job of IT side. Okay. Reason you got another job because it's 10,000 more income. Fine, but you're out of probation. But you had an IT job from 3 years before. So that's an exception basis. Usually your job should be full-time permanent out of probation, but that job is under probation. Still 2 more months to go. In that case, it's all depend on the financial institution based on the strength of your file. Yes, there is a positiveness because your same kind of profession, you got a job, but there is a chances for exception. Even with the A lending, there's chances for exception for that. Right. And one more thing, I seen it. The sales force of the financial institution, like a TD, RBC, Scotiabank, and TD, and we as a mortgage agent working with TD and Scotiabank. Exceptions sometimes tough for us and easy for their own salesperson.
Oh.
Yeah. I work on both sides, so never get surprised that you submit an application with a TD bank and TD declined it, and same person gone to the TD bank mortgage
Employee.
specialist and got it approved. Yes, there's exception, or maybe we missed something, and his packages have a different notes,
Okay.
same notes but a different way,
Okay.
and little addition or something. Yes.
Convincing the underwriter maybe.
So when you're talking to underwriter, underwriter is saying, okay, yes or no, no, yes or declining. Ask your underwriter, kindly advise. So what I can do, or add maybe a little down payment more, or you need a co-signer, or to pay off any debts. What solution? Ask your underwriter for solution. Work as a team with the underwriter. Underwriter is not
Boss.
mostly we think the underwriter's job.
It's
It's
to
decline.
In the jail, you have to give a, capital punishment to someone. So they're chandal and killing you. They are not like that. They are humans like us. They have a targets too. If they're declining a lot, they have to answer of the decline too. If underwriter declining any deal, there's an answer.
Definitely. It's a
Especially if the deal's on the edge.
it's a business loss.
Yeah. Yeah. So what mindset they are already working in one deal, and that deal story is all in his brain, and suddenly underwriter jump into another deal, and the story is totally different in that case. So sometime we miss something when we're talking to each other and consulting, and maybe there's a. My success was always working as a team with the underwriter and asking what is the next solution. Okay.
Most of them have already remained mortgage.
Yeah.
So we work with TD, Scotia, and HSBC. Those are the main.
Yes. Hopefully, BMO is coming back. And what the name? RBC may come back.
But right now these three are the main.
Yes. Scotia and TD were long time. So BMO and National Bank used to deal with that. So BMO left, I think so 2008, a long time back. And after that, National Bank left too. Yeah. So this is the business, guys. They need a market share. And business का क्या है? उसको बंद कर दें वैसे?
BB have
कोई बात नहीं, it's done.
Bye, BB.
Monday, Tuesday.